A big topic that a lot of people that I know who work from home is Elon's whole thing about, people that work from home don't do anything. You either here or you quit.
He sent an email to his e-staff. Specifically, it was targeting the e-staff, and then it seems to have expanded into being company-wide. Like, there was a lot of debate on what he meant by that at first. But yeah, basically, his argument was they have a lot of, workers that have to be in person, right? When you're building something, you can't do that remotely in a lot of cases. So he said everybody has to be in the office. But some of the implication of how he said it and what he said was essentially that he doesn't believe that people actually work when they're not in the office, and that they don't really accomplish any work remotely. I agree that some people cannot work remotely. Some people cannot do it. I think that there are people that in an office don't accomplish anything and barely do any work. I've seen that many, many times. So I think the assumption that being in the office is what makes you work is nonsense. And I've also seen, both in myself and in people that report to me and other stuff at various companies, that sometimes working from home, you work significantly more. And my company literally works in work analytics and productivity. So we actually develop products to measure productivity for office workers. And we have data on in-office, out-of-office, hybrid, and all that stuff. And our data does not indicate that working productivity goes down if you're working from home. Not just me personally, that's anecdotal data that we have across hundreds of thousands of people, across tens of thousands of companies, because that's what our product does, seems to track that it's not true that people aren't productive at home. There's certain big tech companies that have been doing this. It's not a Tesla thing. Google's, been saying stuff about it, Meta for Facebook, and, a lot of these companies have started coming out saying like, oh, they want people back in the office. Some of them have backpedaled. They said, everyone's got to come back, and then a bunch of people quit or threatened to quit, and they went, whoa, hold on, we'll come up with some hybrid approaches. And I think that's going to be the new normal. I think some level of hybrid work, being able to work remotely will be normal at a lot of these companies. Anyway, I feel like part of it was, there's some rumors. People say like, oh, he's just trying to get people to quit because they want to reduce staff and they don't want to pay severance. And lo and behold, after this thing came out, now they're talking about, they're going to reduce their hourly or their salaried workers, and shrink headcount due to economic factors and other things. And
maybe that's just his culture. He's old school, and maybe he feels that, if my people are here and we can see each other and we can collaborate, because we have a connection together. And then if they're coming in and the workers are there, maybe Elon thinks that may build morale and make people be more invigorated to come work on their cars.
Probably a calculated move. It's probably, like you said, staff reduction. It's a good way to push out people that maybe kind of in the back of their head, they're done, they want to leave. And here's that little push to get them out the door. I think that's very much Elon's style. What I will call him on is it's very unprofessional.
Mike, what would you, if you were Elon and you wanted to just let people go, how would you have handled this thing differently? But how he did it?
Typically in my world, because I have let people go, it's done the same way that I'd want to be treated. In other words, you're professional about it. You just don't blast off an email and say, oh, by the way, it really burns the bridge. I've actually gone back to companies that I've been let go from years later because they treated me well on the way out the door. No bridges were burned on either side, and things changed, circumstances changed, people changed. Went back to a company, worked there another 3 years. So I guess it depends on what you're trying to do as a leader. Are you just trying to be a jerk and nuke that connection, or do you want to, kind of keep the connection in place with the understanding it's a very small world out there, and the people that you're letting go, you very well could end up working for in the future or having working for you again. Maybe it was intentional.